Alright, this is how to play Prismata, which is a free strategy game on Steam. It's mainly a multiplayer game, so you will need to create an account, but you can easily just create one using your Steam account. And there's plenty of single player content, there's puzzles, there's a campaign, and you can also skirmish against the computer, which is what I'm going to show you now. So let's go versus computer, random. Okay, base set plus 9 random units. So this game has about 50 different units in it, but there's 11 in the base set, which you always have every time you play. And then out of the rest, they choose some at random, and that's what makes every game different. It's kind of like playing chess where you mix up the pieces at the start, like the position of the pieces, which is a variant of chess called chess 960 or something. So even if you've played a lot of chess, it's going to be different if you play it like that. And this game does have some similarities to chess in that you can always see what your opponent's doing, and there's no randomness. So, except for which units are in the game, but once the game begins, everything is just predetermined. So, let's have a look at the resources. At the moment, my main resource is gold. Gold persists across turns, so does the green stuff. The blue, red, and energy don't persist across turns. The energy is mainly used to build workers. So these drones are workers. I can click them, and you can see I got some gold. I can swipe the pile, or shift click it, or press Q, and gather my gold. So basically these guys, if this was StarCraft, these guys are like my SCVs gathering gold. These engineers give me the energy that I need to build new drones, but they're also useful as blockers. You can see they've got 1 health, which is this little one with a plus or a cross. Okay, the drones also have 1 health, but since I've tapped them or clicked them this turn, they can't block until next turn. So it's like in Magic, your units can either use their tap ability or they can be available to block. Not all units are able to block either. Alright, so I'm going to go to this. This is the standard tab of units, and you can see here I can press D to build a drone. Okay, so basically I'm building some more SCVs at the start of the game. And these 3 here give you your green, blue, and red resources. Okay, the computer took its turn, it tapped all its drones and built 2 new drones too, just like me. Okay, here are some basic attackers and blockers that are available in every game, as well as whatever special stuff we've got. So we even got a special kind of drone that I could build if I wanted, but I don't want to build that. Just taking a look at what options there are to build. Lots of cool stuff. I built 2 more drones. Okay, the opponent's built this wild drone. Well, maybe I'll try to build some stuff that'll blow it up then. So I'll build an animus, which gives me the red resource, which is used for building these basic attackers here. Okay, I've also got 6 gold, so I'll build 2 more drones. My opponent's built something that gives him the green resource. Okay, so here I have 12 gold and I have 2 red. If I don't spend my red, then it's going to be wasted at the end of this turn, whereas the gold, if I don't spend it, it'll carry over to the turn after. Okay, and I might not spend all of my energy this turn, but that's not as important because I've already built enough workers. I don't need to keep building workers all game. It's time to start building some attackers. This guy takes 2 turns to be built, and he just gives me 1 attack each turn, so you'll see what happens when I actually get to attack. I built 2 of him, and I will build 1 more drone because I've got the gold for it. Okay, my opponent has built some attackers that are built in one turn, these Grim Botchers. Okay, I can attack, so you can see it's telling me the enemy is going to attack for 2 damage. Let's say I tap all of these, it's warning me that I only have 2 defense, which means the enemy can destroy everything that I've left behind to block. Which doesn't always matter, because these engineers only have 1 health anyway. But I will show you something you can do. If I build this blocker, and this guy is prompt, it's like he's got haste, but the blocking version of haste, meaning that he can block the turn that he's built, instead of taking 1 or 2 turns to build like these guys. He's got 2 health, and he doesn't die if he only takes 1 damage, which means that, and then like in Magic, he'll heal back up at the end of the turn. So that's why it's good to have more defense than the attack that's coming in from these 2 Grim Botchers. If they hit my Rhino for only 1, and I get to decide on my defense, then it'll survive and that damage won't count. But if these guys weren't here and I only had the 2, he's going to hit the Rhino for 2 and it will die. I won't get to absorb the damage. Sorry, that was a bit long-winded. Anyway, I'm going to build a blast forge so I can create blue units like this wall. And I still have some resources left, so I might build another Tarsier. Okay, end of my turn. So let's have a look at the damage coming in. 2 damage. I've got 4 defense altogether, so I can decide where it goes and in what order. So first I'll put 1 damage on my engineer, and then the other 1 damage on my Rhino, and it tells me absorb, which means it's not going to completely die. Okay, but the engineer did. Now, there's a special mechanic called Frontline, which we're going to use this turn, which is showing me that this wild drone can be attacked directly. So instead of letting the opponent decide how to block, I'm just going to blow that thing up. Okay, now I will build a wall, which is 5 gold and 1 blue. That's why I built the blue last turn. Okay. And now I'll have a look at some of the special units. I could build Grim Botchers too if I wanted to attack back. So I guess I'll just do that. Okay, so my attack already got used up blowing up that drone, which means that he doesn't have to defend against it. Okay, 1 on the engineer. The wall has 3 health. I'm going to put 2 on that, and that's a pretty efficient way to absorb damage. Okay, it's my turn again. He's got 11 damage coming in. Oh, he's built this guy, Thernax, which can only attack 3 times. So if I can weather the attack, well, that will be good. Otherwise, I'm probably going to lose. Alright, so let's destroy this wild drone. And I might leave my other attackers back to block against Tia. So I'll build another wall. And then some more of these guys. Okay. 10 damage coming in, so the opponent didn't attack with everything, but because I want to keep my walls alive, I'm only able to absorb 1 damage. Anyway, it's okay. Oh. Okay, I'm going to need to leave 1 drone untapped so that it can block. And I've got 3 damage going over to the opponent this turn. So the opponent can decide how to block. So it'll probably want to put 2 of it on units like the force field or engineers that are just blockers, and then the other one on the Rhino, which will then absorb the last point of damage. This force field, even though it's got 2 health, it doesn't heal at the start of each turn because it's fragile, so there's no point putting just 1 damage on the force field compared to absorbing it with the Rhino. Okay, he didn't attack with everything, so I'm not forced to block with the drone. Or I could keep my rhino alive instead and let the drone die. Alright. So 9 damage. Oh, the Tia has got one more attack. So I'll build another wall and another rhino to defend, and then a Tarsier with my leftover resources. Okay, I've got 3 damage coming in, so I'll probably go 1, 1. Oh no, these Grim-Botches are about to die. So he's just going, because they've got 4 lifespan, he's just going to absorb them on that. No point wasting other units that aren't about to die. This wasn't supposed to be a tutorial on how to get wrecked by Tia. Well, no, the nice thing is you can see that he's running out of attack. I'm going to bring some engineers back so that just to improve my sort of granularity of attacks, and also so I can start building some more drones, my granularity of defense I should say, because I always want to be absorbing 2 health on the wall rather than building like expensive rhinos to try to absorb 2 and then 1 to the wall. Okay. Four damage coming in, I can put 2 of that on engineers. So I'll get another drone as well. And I'll make some of my own attackers. So this game, it tends to be a bit back and forth. You can see he started trying to build some green attackers, which are pretty good in the late game because they've got much more health, whereas these guys only have 1 health. So I'm kind of banking on being able to continue to put up defenses for longer than the opponent can. Oh. What happened there? Did he say he's giving up? Or he's just talking to me? Just talking. Alright, these engineers are going to die. Ah, I can click claim victory, but I may as well show you how the game finishes. So, it seems like after I'd weathered the attack from this thing, I had cost him 7 drones to build it, so I ended up with much more resources in the long term, which is why I'm winning now, even though it seems like I was getting smashed for a while. Okay, and he's sacrificing more drones to build these force fields. So once one of the players starts running out of economy, that's usually a sign that the game is over, basically. Now you can see there's only so many of each unit that can be built. For example, this one that he built before only has 1 that can be built. I've just built 10 Grim-Botches, so I can't build any more. I can hover over the opponent to see how many of each thing they're allowed to build. Okay, and I'll build this blue attacker that you haven't seen yet. And another drone, just because I have the resources, why not? Only 1 coming in, easy to block. Okay, you can see here it says overrun defenders. Because I've got more attack than he's got defense, it means I'm now allowed to choose what to destroy. If it was exact, I could just click on these and it would just destroy them and nothing else. But since I've got a bit more, then you can see I've still got 3 damage left. I can now choose whether to shoot this drone or the Gauss cannon for some of its damage because it's fragile, or even his tech buildings. Now this would be bad if he was able to do it to me, because my Tarsiers can easily be destroyed. For some strategies, you don't mind if you get breached, it's called, because you have lots of units like this, where you don't care if the opponent destroys it. Now these rhinos can only be clicked twice, but they can always be used as blockers, so they're kind of a hybrid unit. Same as this unit can act as either a wall, although it's not prompt. It can't block the turn it comes out, or you can click it to attack with it, but not both. Okay, and that's all it takes.